The foundation, I'm private now. What part 5? We're on this family trust dance. Now, we got into business trust last time, and that's cool. I do want to let y'all know that a very, very great and wonderful resource that is available to everyone at their law library are these things called legal encyclopedias. A legal encyclopedia, there's volumes of these encyclopedias, these legal encyclopedias, that all they have is citations of authority from Supreme Court cases. Now, the main 2 legal encyclopedias that are out there is American Jurisprudence, and the other one is Corpus Juris Secundum. All right. Now, I want to be clear. Like, we were talking about business trust. Now we're going to talk about family trust. Business trust has its own volume in American Jurisprudence and Corpus Juris Secundum. There's a reason why that is. There are things that apply to business trust that don't apply to other trusts. Now, business trust administration and proper knowledge with regards to the administration of business trust is important, especially if you're administering a business trust, but it is in no way, shape, or form evenly correlating or attributable or applicable to the administration of a family trust. I'm going to tell you why. Typically, the purpose of a family trust is not to make a profit, typically. And, you have situations that arise, that happen, and every situation is different. But generally, typically, the family trust or, the family management trust, the purpose is not a business purpose. It's not to be in business or to hold shares or corporations or, hold investments and so on and so forth. Overall, that's not the purpose of the family trust. So being that it has a specific, distinct purpose other than or in contradistinction to a business trust, it's administered a little differently. It may, if you're smart, fall under a different type of jurisdiction. And I just wanted to touch on some of the distinctions. First and foremost, that it typically does not have a business purpose. The overall purpose is to hold assets and wealth and potentially, obviously, grow the assets and wealth for the benefit of the beneficiaries. And now, obviously, that's a typical purpose of the trust, but it's not a business purpose. It's not typically to enter into business with the family trust. So, in my opinion, that is a distinction that usually is not made. It typically is not made, at least in the public. I don't really hear it being made, and it's cool. Everybody thinks that every trust applies. There's over 80 different types of trust, and if there's over 80 different types of trust, you can imagine the different combinations of structures, all the that are available with this different types. How many types of different ways there are of administering it, and even if you're like, oh, the trust is private. The purpose of the trust is really important, and if it's not a business purpose, it doesn't fall under the laws of business trusts. I'm telling you. So check it out. Go to your law library, check out American Jurisprudence or Corpus Juris Secundum. They're pretty much the same thing. They're just produced by different publishers. Some people have preferences, and check it out. See if you don't see, a volume on trusts and a whole other volume on business trusts. That's important. You want to see if you're dealing with these types of entities and structures. You want to see how they're treated at the appeals level, the Supreme Court level. Definitely. But how do you get to the Supreme Court? What type of actions or controversies are adjudicated in that specific venue? So let me see this. What law governs? I want to touch on this. It's very important. This is one of the things where I'm like, traverse. Do not traverse your mentors, man. Like, it's at your peril. If I ain't never been scuba diving, fam, and we finna go down scuba diving, if the instructor tells me to do something or not to do, I'm gonna listen to this dude. If I have a question, I'm gonna ask this dude the question. Man, I'm not gonna jump out in the scuba and like I know because I don't see some movies or heard some, you know what I'm saying, some podcasts or something, and just jump. Man, you can get hurt out here due to ignorance, due to not knowing what you don't know. So, what law governs the trust in general or ordinarily? With respect to the determination of what law governs the construction of a trust, the question is not the meaning of the words as used, but rather their legal effect. Ordinarily, in construing and giving effect to an instrument evidencing a trust personality, the law of domicile of the creator at the time of creating the trust must control. And this may be true, though the creator subsequently removes to the state where the trustees and beneficiary reside and dies there. Minimum contact, how can he be removed from one jurisdiction to another? Or although the trustee resides in another state, there being no duty imposed on him to remove the property to a state, or although the trust property has been converted under a general authority in the trust instrument and removed to another state. However, it has been held that where a trust instrument is executed in one state by a resident thereof, and another state is the seat of the trust, the law of the latter, meaning the state of the seat, the law of the latter state should be applied in determining whether the trust is irrevocable. And the construction of the trust instrument executed by a non-resident and the management of a trust thereby created in personality having a situs in a particular state must be determined by the laws of that state for a non-resident. So specifically, if you consider yourself sovereign or something of that nature, I notice I didn't say sovereign citizen, but if you consider yourself sovereign, you should know these. This is important to know. The construction of a trust evidenced by a contract is to be governed by the law of that place where such contract has its beneficial operation or where it was executed. In the case of a trust established by a court having control of a fund requiring a trustee to administer it, in the absence of the express provision expressly governing that matter, the law of the state in which the appointing court is located should control the powers of the trustee in the construction of the instrument. That is a public, that's a public trust, and that is made quite clear. So, the situs of a trust means the place of performance of the active duties of the trustee. Such situs is determined by an interpretation of the words by which the trust is created. But other factors have also been considered. So, the situs of the trust is determined by an interpretation of the words by which the trust is created, specifically in the trust indenture. Why am I saying this? This goes to traverse a little bit. Do you know the specific words and construction to be able to reach that certain venue known as the Supreme Court? I'm telling you. I speak a lot on administration, not construction, administration and mindset. That's half of it. where the settler selects as the trustee. I'm sorry. So it is held that determining the situs or seat of a trust, the place of execution of the trust instrument, and the domicile of the beneficiaries are not important. And the place of administration of the trust are important factors, and that the intent of the donor or trustor, if it can be ascertained, has been increasingly emphasized. Where public policy is not contravened, the settlor may designate the state according to whose law the trust shall be construed. His intention should prevail if there is a real connection between the selected jurisdiction and the transaction. What is the real connection between the selected jurisdiction and the transaction? The real connection, not an implied connection or some sort of assumed connection or some sort of magical, glittery sprinkles with the sprinkles and all that stuff, some sort of fantasy type understanding of what jurisdiction or what laws that the trust shall be governed under. Like, you're going to write some stuff, it may sound cool. You might be with your friends or like your peoples, maybe you got a study group and you pulled up some study books and maybe you put in some real hours. That doesn't necessarily mean that you now are an informed individual, because knowledge, do you have all the knowledge that you need? That's number one. You will not know that unless you have some sort of direction. And number two, do you have the specific understanding of how to apply that knowledge successfully, which most people don't think about? Where public policy is not contravened, the settler may designate the state according to whose law the trust shall be construed. So he may designate a foreign law as controlling. What law is foreign to commercial law? Oh, man. And establish the bounds within which such law is to govern the trust. The designation of a particular state in combination with other circumstances may control even though the settler is domiciled elsewhere, or even though the settler and beneficiaries reside elsewhere. The intention of the settler should prevail if there is a real connection between the selected jurisdiction and the transaction. And this is true whether the settler's choice of jurisdiction has been affirmatively stated in the trust instrument and is therefore directly provable, or whether his intention is deducible from surrounding facts of the circumstances. A provision of the trust instrument that the trust shall be considered a trust of a specified state and shall be governed by the laws of that state cannot be construed to limit the powers and duties of the trustee to those granted and imposed by the laws of that state. Did y'all know that? In the effect at the inception of the trust, but subjects the trust to the continuous regulation of the laws of the state as they may from time to time develop. And in general, a trust instrument should be construed with reference to its subject matter, scheme, and plan, and the parties' relationship. The court must not, in the guise of construction, thwart the settler's wishes or make a new agreement. And what was that? That was a case. What was that? What case was that? Let me check my notes. Edwards versus the commissioner, where the court said dignity of a contract cannot be set aside because a tax benefit results either by design or accident. That's one of them. So they're like, yo, just because there's a tax benefit, you can't reconstrue the trust instrument. The settlers wishes and laws prevail. And so what jurisdiction, look. What jurisdiction is your business trust under? Let's just be honest. Your business trust more than likely has a bank account. Your business trust more than likely has some property registered into it. Your business trust more than likely is advertising somehow on the internet or something like that. Even if it's not, your business trust somehow more than likely owns or holds shares of some public corporation, even if it's your family company, or other types of public minimum contacts. Now, with the business trust, that may or may not be cool, depending on how you have structured your estate overall and what you're looking to do and how you're looking to operate. Now, that's something that you're going to come up with on your own, or, you can seek out, counsel, attorneys, tax preparers or whatever, or you can, hit us up at the foundation. But business trust distinctly is in contradistinction to a family trust, in my personal opinion. Now, your family trust may or may not have a bank account. But even if it does, that's one minimum contact. And what I always like to say, I like to say this to trustees in the private, but I'm going to say this in the public, man. Even if you have a minimum, even if you have, as trustee, bound the trust to a minimum contact in the public, it's only with regards to that contract. Meaning, if you have initiated on behalf of the trust a bank account in the name of the trust with the commercial bank, and it's it has a state charter to the bank, plus it's hooked up into the Federal Reserve System, so on and so forth, right? The only way that specific trust comes under jurisdiction is with obviously the use of Federal Reserve notes and the specific contract that it has with the banking institution. Now, does a minimum contact with the bank bring the trust into the public jurisdiction enough for, enough for that trust to be brought in the jurisdiction of the state where that bank is over some other matter that has nothing to do with the bank, just because it has a bank account? A lot of people like to say that these minimum contacts are, treacherous when it comes to a private trust. That's why, from my studies, that's why there's two laws of jurisprudence with regards to trusts themselves and business trusts. And the construction of the overall instrument itself is very important. And how is that instrument constructed? Some would say a minimum contact if you have a piece of property titled in the name of the family trust. That's only with regards to that property. Now, does the family trust hold any shares in corporations? Does it actually participate in a business purpose? Does it go out into commerce, into the commercial realm, into the market, and participate in business for profit? Which is the main distinction, in my opinion, between a business trust and all other trusts. And maybe I'm beating a dead horse, but I want to be clear. A lot of people, man, not even a lot. It's a handful of people that tell me that I go fast and I need to slow down, and that people aren't picking this up as fast as I think they are. And they're ashamed to speak up and say that I'm going too fast, and they're not catching it. And if that's you, I apologize. It's not my intention. But right here, when we're talking about family trust, I want to be very, very clear. And I want to take my time when I describe the distinctions between a business trust and a family trust. If you did not know, then at least you know now that in no way, shape, or form are you to administer your business trust the same way you administer your family trust. There should definitely be similarities. But the family trust should be administered a certain way, and the business trust be administered another. And it should be looked at in a different way. Ultimately, it's a different structure with a different purpose. So, look, I'm just going to throw a gem out there, man. Y'all need to throw in a clause in your trust. And look, if you're not jumping in trustee training, you're not coming to the foundation to get your education, man. But look, at the very least, man, y'all need to put in your trust indentures, man, that no one can become a trustee of this family trust if they don't have blood of one of the original, either the grantor or one of the original first trustees. That way, the trust isn't going to move outside of family control. I have found so many trusts in my studies that have some sort of family name or had some sort of family name but are not administered by family members, and the beneficiaries aren't even part of that family anymore because outside trustees that knew what they were doing got a hold of it. And that typically happens when there's a patriarch or matriarch or death in the family. Maybe someone in the family that really handled all the trust stuff and really understood it. And then, once that family member passes, which is unfortunate, those who never really had any interest in the trust or learning about how the estate was set up now are tasked with settling this person's estate. Come to find out that person may not have an estate. It's all in the trust. Now they don't know how to administer the trust. So they hire some attorneys and the attorney says, hey, pay me this and put me on as trustee. And they're like, okay. And they put, the family members, they put them on trustee. Then now you got public attorneys on as trustee of your private trust, man. And that's the worst, man. You be rolling over in your grave, man. That's why I focus on training. Trustee training to me, is one of the most important things. Because if you are properly trained, you can properly train. And that's the biggest thing. Each one teach one. It's because you get information that makes you an informed individual doesn't make your family automatically an informed family. There's a lot of work that needs to go into not only keeping yourself informed, studying this information, study the application, the administration, so on and so forth, case law, all that, but also the responsibility of teaching this and passing this information on to the next generation or the next successors or so on and so forth. But having a strong trust indenture, to me, is the first part. I don't care what you're doing. You can be hunting, right? And you got a gun and stuff. If the gun is, I don't care how dope your bullets are, man. If the gun doesn't work right, you're not doing nothing. You go play basketball. I don't care how dope of a player you are. If the ball don't have air in it, you're not playing a basketball game. And if you are, you're not playing it the way it's supposed to be played. If you're driving a car with no air in the tires, you're going to get a wreck and you're going to cause a lot of issues to that car, and you're either going to have to get rid of it and waste all that energy that you put into it, whether that energy was just reduced to you purchasing the thing. And being able to purchase it, getting these notes, you're exchanging energy, man. But I'm not trying to see anyone down, a few years down the road or so, have to abandon their trust. And all that energy that went into it because they were doing it wrong, they were misinformed, they thought they knew what was up. So, if you're interested in trustee training, email us, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. This stuff is not a game. This stuff is not a game. This stuff is not a game. I don't care if you think it's cool and you like to walk around and talk above people's heads because that does something for your ego. That's fine. Y'all keep doing what you're doing. My real people who are looking to change their life and change their family, this stuff is not a game. This stuff is not a game. This stuff is not a game. So if you're interested in trustee training, email us at admin@welcometothefoundation.com. But I want to just make the distinction between a business trust and any other trust. How about that? It's important. It's very important. Your trust indenture is very important. Knowing the moves is very important. Just because you know where the pieces go on the chessboard doesn't mean that you know how to play. And just because you know how to play doesn't mean you know how to play to win. There's a difference. There's a lot of people who play the lottery, a lot of people who play basketball, a lot of people who play a lot. Not a lot of people who win consistently when they play or when they go out to do something. Most people out here are content with trying. I tried. Oh, I tried. You tried. You don't get a medal for trying. I guess you do nowadays. They sending children home with participation ribbons. Ooh, you participated. Good job. Participate in a waste of time if you don't have your paperwork in order and you don't have your education on point. And that's, like I said, that's the purpose of this, this indenture. I'm going to go to the phone lines and take some questions, man. But realistically, I want everyone to know that, and I'm not trying to be pejorative. Honestly, this stuff, trust administration is not for everyone. It's not. I feel like everybody can do it. Definitely. Don't get me wrong. I just don't feel like it's for everyone. Some people don't have the habits, the characteristics, the drive, the consistency, the dedication, the mental fortitude, the willpower necessary to properly and successfully administer a private estate, and then teach others how to properly and successfully administer it after you're no longer doing that. This is a big, big thing that we're doing if we're going private. This isn't nothing small. This isn't for kicks. It's not for fun. It's not for likes. It's not for girls. But there's a lot of people out here, man, misrepresenting. And I just want to do my best to not be one of those people out here misrepresenting. So, obviously, business trust is a very large part of your private estate. But so is family trust. The distinctions of administration, law, governing jurisdiction, and the potential for these distinctions, I just wanted to bring to light. I also wanted to bring to light, like I said, just because you know how to drive doesn't mean you know how to drive safely and drive fast. Just because you play some video games or dip it through traffic don't mean that you can jump on a racetrack and just do this dance, man. I'm not trying to discourage anybody. I'm just trying to be clear in the fact that this is not a game and it takes effort. And if that scares you, just, enjoy yourself. Just have fun with it, I guess. But those of you who are for real, those of you who really want to move into a private space and then go back into commerce properly with private entities and knowing how to administer these things from, to limit your liability individually, shelter income, shelter property, shelter assets. And, there's a lot of other things that you can do that I don't speak on with regards to these types of entities. Shoot an email, admin@welcometothefoundation.com. I'm going to go to phone lines, man. Look at these people, man. I love y'all too. Man's been holding longest hold time, 720-1382. Peace, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Peace, segment Rod, Colorado.
Oh, peace. How you doing?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I had called you, it's been like about a month ago, and I was talking about the 9-8, that they wouldn't give me the 9-8 number no more.
Oh, yeah.
Did you check into that?
Yep, I did.
What's up?
All right, so I got a trustee who's in trustee training, who's really into this right now, and we've been talking about this back and forth. And he was having issues getting his EIN as well. And basically, what happened is they've introduced security questions before they actually start getting to the questions with regards to the application itself. They've introduced these security questions to try to facilitate the weeding out of fraudulent persons. You know, the public is locking down. So, you know, I like to talk about these 12 steps. A lot of these gurus sell 12 steps or 5 steps to get your 9A number. They're locking that down. If you don't know what you're doing, if you're not understanding, you know, certain aspects and nuances of trust and administration and actually what's going on, calling that number, they're going to hang up on you. They're going to tell you that they can't issue an EIN. So they're asking questions at random that is populating on their screen.
Security questions.
The trick questions.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
So they're just attempting to ascertain the level of knowledge of the people who are calling in.
And you never know what they're going to ask you. It's just different questions.
Yeah. So it's different ones. Yep, it's different ones. It's different questions. They're still asking for the social, and they're asking, I don't know what they're asking. They're asking a bunch of different stuff. I can't remember. It's because it was a while when he told me, and I didn't write it down. And if I don't write it down, it's out of here.
Yeah, time be passing. I'm trying to learn this situation. You know how to do the irrevocable trust, and time passed by so quick. It's like, oh man, I didn't get back to you yet.
Oh,
this is a lot to learn, and I've been trying to get with. Well, you know, I started out with Jonah Bay, so you can imagine my hair is white. I don't feel too good about it. So I need some help. I emailed you, and something went wrong with it didn't go through or something.
Oh, yeah?
I emailed you that same thing.
Okay, well,
so,
yeah.
Can I give you my email, or how can I get in touch with you?
I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't put your email over the air like that. Have you been to the website, welcometothefoundation.com?
Well, I was just thinking if somebody get a hold of my email, I just change my email address. But yeah, that's admin. I emailed you at admin at welcome to the the one you said earlier. That's the one.
It's a long one. I mean, if you go to the website, there's a contact form on the website. That's what I'm saying. If you ever been to the website.
No, how do you get there?
It's welcometothefoundation.com. Spelled out normally. WELCOMETOTHEFOUNDATION.com.
Okay, welcometothefoundation.com, and then I can go from there.
Welcometothefoundation.com. Yep.
Okay.
And then
I'll do that. And then go ahead.
From there on the page, I'm just gonna tell you out, straight up. So from there, there's a little envelope on the side, on the left-hand side. It's a contact form. You can enter your name, enter your email, and then type your message. If you can, if the email won't go through, you can just go to the website, and that'll go through.
Okay.
All right.
All right, that's it?
Is that it?
Okay, I'm going to be right on it. And one more question. Why is it, did you ever have a chat, or did you shut it down, or was there a problem?
What's that?
Because, what's that?
What did you say? Did I have a what?
Did you have did you ever have a chat that was open? I don't know. I'm just wondering why everywhere I go there's no chat, and it's like we have to build. I'm in a state where people really don't give a damn about no knowledge. So I need to connect with some people, and it's like if you don't have a chat and you can't talk back and forth to your people. What do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you talking about like a chat on the Blog Talk website?
Yeah, there's always been chats. Now it's not. You know, I ain't been around in a little while. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, they took them down. I mean, you
Now
can't even.
nobody's on the chats no more. The chats are closed down. But how do we connect and learn? How do we connect and learn the secure? You know, this is a lot to learn, and you got to build with people. You can't do this by yourself.
Right. You said you in Colorado.
I was wondering what happened. Mhm.
I mean, they took the functionality out of that on Blog Talk.
Oh, they did. Okay,
I haven't seen it. Every time I try to do it, it says "oops" or the engineers are working on it or something like that. Like,
okay.
It's just you can't do it anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna get in touch with you as soon as I hang up this phone. I'm gonna get right on it.
Okay. Yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you very much.
Okay, for sure. Appreciate you.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Have a great evening. Peace.
All right, you too. Peace.
Yeah, that was a good question. I love it when people call in with the questions, man. Look, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Most questions are good. I mean, people who ask questions, you do other people a favor because some people are shy. It's cool. 740-6826. Peace. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello, brother. This is Everyday.I. I'm calling from Ohio, Columbus, Ohio.
Peace, brother. How you doing?
Please, bless. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, excellent. Thanks for offering this beautiful opportunity for us out here doing what we can do to increase our knowledge in this great wisdom. My question was, I've heard a lot of different feedbacks and information in regards to operating as a secured party versus the executor office. Operating as the executor of the estate versus operating in the capacity as a secured party. And, I've heard, you can't do both, or, you can't do both. And then I've heard, you can actually are supposed to, the goal is to occupy that executive office and administer the affairs of the estate through that from that position as being the highest rank in trust law, still being able to create credit and set off and discharge and do all of the private procedures for the trust, as well as handling the affairs on the public side too. What is the end goal of the most secured position to attain?
I think I know where you're coming from. So, go ahead.
Because I'm hearing different things from different teachers, different speakers, and things about the secured party, being a secured party, and being the executive office. And I've listened to, of course, many times, and I felt solid in the knowledge. And then, I know what you said is, you can't. You're not really supposed to listen to what anybody says. You have to study for yourself and go into the books so that you know for sure exactly what is what. Yet, I just wanted to use this opportunity to see if I can get a clearer, idea or concept of actually, how that how that works. How do you balance that? Is that is the goal to administer as that executor or executrix, or to stay in that secure party capacity? Because I hear people saying, "Oh, that you don't really want to be on a secure party because you kind of like as a trustee and the liability, and the executor as being the highest office, and all the other offices are considered inferior offices, and which also puts you in a position to issue orders and judgments to the lower courts to perform corrective actions, so on and so forth. So, and now that's the thing, so if you have all your paperwork filed as your trust and everything, and your UCC and everything, and your file, they're recorded down there as a trustee, and as a secure party, and then, okay, you do your executive process, which would, from my knowledge, is the executive letter to specific entities, maybe the governor, and so on and so forth. And I was studying and seeing other ways to go about it as far as mailing a letter to yourself and so on. So I just wanted to get, if I could, a little clarification about those two capacities or offices, and which one would you say that, or recommend or educate to guide one to the best, most, secure position, the paramount position?
Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. First of all, I want to, just give you a plain disclaimer. I don't really talk about this stuff in the public. So what I'm going to say is going to be kind of. But here's what I'm going to say. First and foremost, you got to understand. You say the highest position is the executor, highest position in the trust or in the entity. I understand what you're saying, but is it the highest position in what jurisdiction? You have different jurisdictions. You have equity jurisdiction, you have contract jurisdiction, you have commercial jurisdiction, you have law merchant jurisdiction. There's different jurisdictions, and in what jurisdiction is this certain position paramount? Number one, executor executes a certain estate. So if you've converted a right or interest in property into an estate due to the position or ability to execute, I just want to ask you a question. According to what law are you executing the estate? And if you're talking about secure party, we're talking about a, quote, public estate, according to, according to like the straw man, the individual, the Sesque trust, the, whatever we're talking about. Yeah. This is governed by public law. You know what I mean? So, in essence, what I want to say is I think, in my opinion, I can't tell you the best position for what you're trying to do, but I can tell you that looking into, especially if you're talking about secure party, man, because this is a public entity, the individual is a public entity, and you at least got to get into that Social Security Act and the amendments and understand what the different terms and depth, because they govern all that stuff in the public. That's all I want to say. And a lot of people can come on the air or jump on anywhere and start talking about what they feel or what they think, but all that stuff is public law, all of it. So as far as doing a secure party, I really defer to Yusuf because he's way more, as far as I'm concerned, educated and well versed in that side of things. But what I will say is, when it comes to trustee, secure party, or executor, either way, we're talking about positions with a public entity and what are the corresponding liabilities and benefits for each one of those, positions.
Right.
And you're only going to find that in the public laws and the public, registers and public acts with regards to that specific entity. So not only are we looking at the Women and Children Act or whatever, which birthed the birth certificate, but we're also looking at the Social Security Act as well, and understanding those terms, positions, and all. I mean, that's a lot, man. It's a lot. So I hear and empathize with your position. You said you heard a lot, and there's a lot of different sources and stuff. Like most people say, the best source is, you and you understanding the material and whatnot. And maybe, getting at this material and reading all that stuff is a cantankerous feat. But if you're looking to do this stuff and really, really move in that manner, I would just suggest you study as much as possible and know, like Yusuf says, as much as possible about this stuff so you can stand on it. Definitely.
Okay. All right. Thank you for the insight. I know, it's only a limit of how deep you can really go on certain things. But I have one more question. I don't want to hold everybody up. I was wondering why in some cases if you file your UCC, like I was taught that, say if you file in Iowa or something, so if you look up for your UC filing in, say, Chicago, it's not necessarily supposed to just pop up on their public record, or do you have to actually file in that city, country, state, and so on, state or country, in order for them to recognize that you're filing?
A gentleman always gives notice. So if you're looking to bring an entity in a specific jurisdiction and administer it accordingly, you want to give notice. So from what I understand, like I said, there's only certain things I'm gonna say on the air. But from what I understand, a statement is filed in the state where the individual was created, as well as where the individual resides or is at. So if the individual was born or the birth certificate is from the state of California, but the individual lives in Georgia, there would be two filings. Each state itself is going to produce and publish the filings. And no, it's not going to be available if you're in. Most of the times, if you're in, California and you're searching the California UCC, you're not going to see Illinois UCC filings. But that's the state level. We got to understand the difference in jurisdictions. At the state level, on the federal level, it all applies.
Got you.
And you're dealing with a federal. Is dual jurisdictions with the individual because the birth certificate is state, but the Social Security card and number and account is federal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the finance, all this stuff, they're looking at it's a federal angle that people are trying to get under control. So even though you can't see it, you can't see the filing from state to state. It's federal. This is Uniform Commercial Code. This is federal stuff. So it's still valid.
Got you.
But when you're dealing with the state, like, hey, we got this on file, blah blah blah, and if you're dealing with you can deal with the federal government within the state. There's United States district courts in every state. So at a federal level, it's going to be recognized no matter what state. But at the state level, you get what I'm saying, right?
Yes, I understand. Okay. Thank you, brother. Thank you very much. Truly, greatly appreciate the education, information.
You're very welcome.
So continue to keep showing the love and blessing us, man. We're truly grateful out here for getting these free blessings. So honor and a privilege to learn from you, brother. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. All praises due to the creator and ancestors. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate your questions. Thanks for checking out the show. You have it,
Absolutely.
enjoy the rest of your week, man. Enjoy yourself.
You too, brother. You too.
Peace, man.
I'll be in
Peace to
touch.
guys. All right.
Yeah, peace with God.
I did not get an opportunity to tell everybody to call in, otherwise you get cut off. So I bet you a bunch of people just got cut off, man. Like 2 or 3 people, man. At the very least, man. At the very least, man. All right, next caller, 718. Yeah, I'm sorry. 210-8092. This is my brother. Peace.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing, fam?
What the deal is Daryl from Brownsville. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm okay. You know the funny thing about it? I used to talk to teachers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the teachers, they have to check every student. You have different levels of students. So I used to tell them, like, if you can check the students, you can do businesses like that. Every student is a business. I used to say like that. Every student, you have to check their math, their science, their social studies. And when you deal with a business, you have to check everything of the business. You have to check their utilities. You have to check everything. You have to pay their bills, make sure they're all right, make sure they're in the green or the red, and make a report about it. And but you have some people, they're addicted to because see, a lot of times me and you talk, and you used to say way back, Yusuf L, big brother. Some people on the wavelength, they say sync up. And being on that wavelength, because sometimes I may pull out of the queue because you could, it's like that telepathy. That's what they call telepathy. I guess is what it is. And whether they use telepathy in Black Law's dictionary, I don't even know if it's in Black Law's dictionary. Is telepathy in Black Law's dictionary?
I don't know. I'd have to look. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, open right up to habeas corpus act. Oh, let me see. RST. Where's the T? Man. That was funny. TA. Estate tax. That's too far.
Oh, telepathic. Go like telepathic.
Telegraph,
see, now they say telepathy.
Telegram,
Yeah.
telephone, teletype, television. Nope. We got telegram,
Okay.
racket, telegraph. I'm in the 4th edition though. Telephone, teletype machine, television, teller.
So, a higher number with me up to date, like this year or something like that.
Telework. Telltales.
Or even this what we saying right now, something like that. Is that in the Black Law's dictionary too?
What's that?
Something like that. You know how I said like something like that.
The
so
phrase.
If we didn't know about the okay.
No.
So when it comes to that, it's like it's just so amazing that like sometimes I may pull out. You may see me go in and out of the queue, and the reason why I go in and out of the queue is because you feel what I'm saying from a distance. Because like when I used to go to school, all the young ones now, they're using the devices to handle their business. When I used to use these cell phones and things, if I really used that back in the day, they call that cheating. How many people know things by heart now? How many numbers you know by heart, so?
Hey, that's a good question. You know what, man? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I really don't put contacts in the phone. I like to see the numbers, man. So I have a lot of numbers memorized. Because I remember back in the day, you had to memorize them. I remember, like, man, I was in junior high or something, got my hands on a pager, man. A pager. Back in the day. And all you could see was numbers, man. And you had to write numbers down. I remember you You know, you got the girl's number at the house. You had to memorize it. Like, where else you gonna put it? So, I mean, I know a lot of numbers, man. Especially at family members, people that are close to me. I know numbers by heart, man. But I know what you're saying.
That's
Most
good,
people don't know numbers by heart, man.
I know that's good because I remember you were saying, like, you know, you did the music thing and you know, this moving for writing and stuff like that. I remember you said that about a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I remember that. And but the thing about it is, like, a lot of people, the new ones, they don't use their brain. I mean, they might use their brain, but, like, you know, like, now they punch everything into the phone. Like, you know, how many numbers can you tell somebody they know 10 numbers by heart, or they know how to do math and everything, or without a calculator? And then now a lot of them, they're judging them like if one pass, all of them pass. It wasn't like that back in the days when I, you know, because I'm 53, so. And, you know, and then, like, they made me write, like, 500 times. I'm not talking in class. And then I see anything out of place. That's how I learned how to break codes. I know how, like, yo, okay, this is out of place. You know, which one of these don't belong here? I mean, that's like Schoolhouse Rock or something like that, Sesame Street or you know, Electric Company. I don't know if they're familiar with Electric Company and Sesame Street and all that stuff like that, Schoolhouse Rock. You know, these are things that came on, you know, things back in the days. But how many more calls you got in the host before, like, you got to you know, click off?
Man, I got several, man, but I think you might be the last one, man.
Okay.
I'm about ready to wrap it up. Oh, man, life is luxurious,
good.
Man. Luxurious. How you doing?
That's good. I'm okay. You know what happened is, like, you know, sometimes I have to get in the corner for the best to come out me. Sometimes they say, yo, don't push them into the corner. They say, yo, you know who you're dealing with? Don't back that guy up. That, you know. Some people warned them about me because they said, yo, don't push him into the corner because, yo, you ain't going to be able to handle him. You know, like that. But I always say, like, yo, you're like, you familiar with martial arts and stuff like that. But you like some boxers, you do not hit them with your best shot because the best will come out of them and you can't touch them all night. So sometimes when you're dealing with some people, you don't hit them. You like, you know, like, you don't wake up that sleeping giant. That because if you wake up that sleeping giant, that's it. So sometimes, like, you gotta, like, you know, don't wake up that sleeping giant, because you wake up that sleeping giant, it's gonna be like MC Hammer. You can't touch this, you know. You can't touch that sleeping giant. So sometimes you gotta, like, you know, don't wake up that sleeping giant. You know, do your thing, but as long as, like, you know, you creep slowly, you move quietly, and you know, move socially, so you can keep on making a move. You know. But how I'm doing, that's how I'm doing, you know, like that. You know, I got this thing tomorrow. Hopefully it goes well for you. But if it don't, as you said, like in last week's show, I'm tired of, like, them, like, firing me and hiring me. You know, I'm tired of that. You know, I'm gonna put myself in a position that nobody can fire or hire me. If they want my services, like if I go into welding or I go into metal, 'cause that's good. You know, it's like I'm at the age now, I ain't trying to carry no BX, I ain't trying to carry no sheetrocks, I ain't trying to deal with driving, or, you know, something like that. Same thing. I'm at the age now, and it's at my age, I only could do so much, and I ain't trying to, like, have anybody playing the games with me. I'm at this age now, yo, you got to be real. Yeah, you know, like that, you know, and as I said again, sometimes people do not know what they are missing, because some people looking for a free ride. And there's no, you know, some people get free ride. What the last thing, the outgoing thing. If anybody out here got any mothers and fathers out here, you can get 10 mothers-in-law, you can get 10 godmothers, you can get 10 stepmothers. You only got one mother, one father. And on that scene like that, if they took care of you, you got to give back. You got to give back. So if you working, you can always get a job, but you can't get another mother. So everybody, you can't get another father. So what happens? So put your loved one in front of work, because you can always get a work. You can learn the language later in any part of the world, in any part of the universe. You can learn another language. You can get a job. Who can wash a dish? Who can push a broom? Who can sweep? Who cannot cook? You don't have to learn the language. Wherever you go in the world, you could go state to state, state to state. Dress to the occasion. If it's cold, wear more clothes. If it's hot, wear something lighter, walk slower. So this is how this is how to move. I'm telling the ones who don't know that. So always protect your loved ones. The ones who break. If it wasn't for your mother and father, a lot of people wouldn't be enjoying this life. So later for the job, let them fire you. Everybody if they take this job like as addiction. I got 10 more years to retire. I got 5 more years to retire. 62, 55. Come on now. That you're going to choose your job over your mother, your father who brought you here, your loved ones who took care of your grandparents who took care of you, who brought you here. You choosing that, a job over the people who took care of you, and you having people from nursing homes, putting your people in nursing homes, taking care of they're understaffed and they take care of your people, they're getting bed sores. Don't do that. Don't do that. Take care of your people, the ones who brought you here. That who took care of you, wiped your ass, who changed your diapers, who fed you. The jobs don't give a damn about nobody. You died, they're gonna hire somebody else. Take care of your loved ones. I don't give a shit. People making money. You buy houses for $5 million, $1 million, and $100,000. Come on now. Take care of your people. Forget about them houses like that. That, if we take care of your loved ones, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, whoever brought you here, whoever took care of y'all take care of them. You can always get another job, but you can't get that aunt, that uncle no more. Once they're gone, they're gone. And that's why I have to say that, your friends and that, and some people, they looking for a free ride. That, you know what I'm saying? It's a whole lot more I got to say, but, we can pick this up later.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you calling in, man. Always.
All right.
Every single time, man. Take
care
of yourself, man.
From New York, Brooklyn, Queens, Rockaway, from all over, like that. That, that's how it be. Like that, you need me there, I'm coming. You need me to go on the moon, I'm coming. Book ride for transportation, I'm coming. That's how it is. That,
Brooklyn in the house?
That's right.
All right. What's up, man? Appreciate you, man. Love you, family.
Same here.
Talk to you
I
soon.
love you too. Okay,
Peace,
definite. Man. Peace.
Always a pleasure, y'all. Every single time. Every Wednesday. Here on High Frequency Radio. Always a pleasure. 100%. I'm about to watch this gold move higher. I'm about to watch this silver move higher. I'm about to watch these, these other investments move higher as this economy and this, the overall dollar just goes crazy. And it's happening. I'm just letting y'all know, man. There's a wealth transfer that's about to happen, and that's happening right now. And the predominant instrument of this transfer is going to be precious metals, gold and silver, predominantly. And that's why you're going to see an overall steady rise in the price of gold and silver. In recessions, gold go up 500%, platinum going up 1,000. I mean, you can check the numbers for yourself. It's very important to understand this. You got Russia buying record amounts of gold every single month. China buying record amounts of gold all these sovereign countries are buying gold, especially the eastern countries. And it's for a reason. It's for a reason. Smart money's making moves. Main Street hasn't caught on yet. The regular consumer doesn't really see what's going on yet. I'm just trying to get ahead of it. I'm trying to help y'all get ahead of it. I suggest that you, if you don't already, start purchasing some sort of precious metals. I mean, you can still get an ounce of silver for around $20, $21. It's going up though, y'all. It's going up. And if you can get your money into it now, you can ride the value up. And I don't want to think of it as an investment. It's really just saving. You're trying to hedge against inflation. You're looking to protect your purchasing power. So, whatever you could have purchased with that money when you got the gold, when you exchange it out of, a precious metal into fiat currency, you could still purchase the same thing you could have purchased back in the day. And that's the whole point. You want to invest in something, We don't invest in gold and silver. We save in gold and silver. We know where real money is. Holler at me, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. You want some more information with regards to getting your hands on real money? I don't get money off of it. You can jump into Carrot Bars. They can sell gold by the grams, tenth of a gram. So really there's no excuse for not getting your hands on gold. If you're interested in signing up for Carrot Bars, email me, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Send you all the information you know. With that being said, I trust that y'all, learned at least something from this episode of The Foundation. I trust that y'all are inspired to do some studying, as well as inspired to really come from a position of knowledge, 100%. And, we're going to get away from this guessing, get away from this misunderstanding, but we're trying to make moves. But I don't understand, but I'm still trying to go. And, really get away from the false promises, the high-level finessers, all this stuff, the distractions, all this stuff that is out here. And, sometimes you got to go through it. You got to know what you don't like so you can learn what you do. But ultimately, the foundation is just that. It's the foundation. Come over here, stand on a solid foundation, build your solid foundation, and then build up from there. This isn't the end-all, be-all, situation over here. But this is the foundation. We're going to get you up and running, get you properly structured. If you got a business, get it popping with regards to, business credit, proper classification on the federal level, on the state level, your operating agreement, everything, like for real, legit stuff that you pay thousands of dollars to do. A lot of that stuff is included with trustee training. But you can book a consultation. We'll go through it. Especially with the public stuff, man. I'll give you everything I know. I got people who don't even do the whole hour. They be like, man, I got everything. Hey, man, you might be like, you got any questions? Like, nah. I'm like, I'm trying to give you value. They be like, look, man, I'm good. You gave me value. But, the foundation, like I said, is just that. It's a foundational knowledge and education necessary to win out here. Win. And if you really get it, you can spank out here. I mean, people be like, oh, it's all about winning. Me personally, I'm trying to spank. And people, a win is like you playing a game and I beat you by 2 points. Spank, I'm trying to beat you by 70, fam. I'm trying to make it so you never come out here against me again. And that's business. That's just how I do, man. I'll be spanking. And if you're trying to get into a situation where you're winning and you don't have your back against the wall and, you feel protected, you don't feel anxious and wondering, email us, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Want to let you know, when you come to this stuff, you start getting this knowledge, this real stuff, you will be tested in your life. Whether it's going to be with your wife or your husband or your children or your job or something. Something will manifest itself usually to challenge your ability to get this information. I guarantee it. It happens to almost everybody. And I think it happens to people who don't disclose it to you. It happened to me as well. You will be tested to see if you're worthy for this information, if you're willing to make specific sacrifices to gain this knowledge. Please believe me. Be prepared for that. So, with that being said, I love y'all. I really do, man. I do this out of love, 100%. Like the genuine love out of my heart, because I've been all over the world, and everywhere I've gone, I've seen the people who look like me in the lowest economic position in a lot of different countries, a lot of different jurisdictions, a lot of different cities. I'm not really feeling it. And, the purpose of the foundation is to assist in the re-education with regards to finance, banking, money, savings, and proper structures. So with that being said, man, I love y'all. Y'all have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Happy hump day. Get over it. Friday's coming, man. So just enjoy yourself. Email me, admin at welcometothefoundation.com. Trustee training, consultation. If you're just thinking about something and you want to get a second opinion. Don't send me a book, like 18 paragraphs. Come on, man. Don't be mean. But, I'm out here doing what I can for y'all. So, with that being said, I appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Y'all have a great week. Enjoy yourself. Like, for real, enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. You deserve it, man. Chill. Take some time to appreciate that relationship. Appreciate your son, your daughter. Appreciate your mate. Appreciate your friend. Appreciate your job. Appreciate something, man. Just start counting your blessings and watch them multiply. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all enjoy your week. Enjoy yourself. Like I said, y'all say 10 things you're thankful for before you go to sleep tonight. Just 10 things. Think of 10 things that you're thankful for. And then when you're done naming them off, watch how you feel. I'll catch y'all next week here on the Foundation on High Frequency Radio Network. Peace to the gods.
Doing this thing all the way live. High Frequency Radio.